Ring will be called, and the people will come.
Yeah. Hi guys, welcome back. How's it going? To the JAD podcast Unplugged. I'm your
That's
host, D. How's it going?
That's right. I am Jay.
I'm Aidan.
Hey, there we go. The J Aidan D podcast.
I can't see myself right now, so I don't know
That's
what
fine.
I'm doing or look like. But hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. How you guys been? It's a new Monday the 20 something. I don't know. October just flew by. I don't even know what day it is today. Again.
Yeah. But 25. Everybody likes a nice.
25. Okay.
5 is the one odd number that all even-numbered fans like because it's the perfect split to 10. You know,
Okay.
like people who get cringe when they're like putting the volume up and then they put it up to 10, then they put it to 11, and they're like, oh no, I can't do that. You got to put it to 12. You know. That's a common thing. I'm not one of those people. I feel like maybe I used to be, but I think the 5 is the exception to that rule. Yeah.
So, but is it only like even numbers? Because so would you go from 10 to 12 and not 11? Wouldn't you go from 10 to 15?
Well, you don't. What if it's screaming loud, and then super quiet? Some
True.
volume distributors are really uneven, especially near the bottom. Whenever you're trying to be quiet, like there's other people sleeping in the house, and so but you want to watch TV, so you like start at 0 and then you click 1, and it's like, and you're like, okay, you put it to 2, and it's like, you're like, okay, put it to 3, and it's like,
so loud.
and you're like, ah,
Everything's like moving.
God damn it! So I got to put it back down to 2, but then you still can't hear it. It's too whispery. Yeah.
There's some volumes where you can hear it, like if you have it really quiet like that, because you don't want to disturb people. You can have it super quiet, but you can only hear it if you're completely still.
Yeah. You move any piece of your flesh or clothing, just even if it's super soft clothing, any movement, it's just like screaming.
Like, I
can't
can't hear anything now.
Yeah.
That's why I like my radio at night.
It's too loud. You can't hear it. You gotta be like.
Oh my god. True.
Yeah, I like it and I love it. That's great. I love a good challenge when I'm trying to watch something. It adds like a level.
So lots to talk about today, guys. Lots to talk about.
Actually, I don't know if I mentioned this on the last EP, but I got some personal news to give you guys. I have been officially diagnosed as having ADHD, so it's real.
Oh.
I no longer will call it squirrel brain. It has a name apparently, according to science. But yeah, so there we go. And I started taking, popping some pharmaceuticals, and we're gonna see what happens.
Okay, sweet. Congratulations.
And I just today talked with someone else who has it, who has dealt with it for longer than me, like on the pharmaceutical side, and they were saying how you don't have to take the pills every day. You take them when you need to focus, but there are special circumstances where you kind of need the ADHD energy. It's like use it at your own will. Use your strengths when needed. So if you're in a certain like imagine if you were an employee at McDonald's at 5 p.m. rush hour, don't take your pill because you need you need to have that fast energy. You need that scattering. It helps you.
You're kind of like Bruce Banner, like you're suppressing the Hulk all the time. But then sometimes when the aliens invade, Hulk needs to come out.
I'm always angry. Wow. There you go. Yeah.
Hulk is coming out today, guys.
So what was the diagnosis process? That wasn't intended to rhyme.
Well, first off, there's 2 ways you can do it. One way is paying a psychiatrist to give you an evaluation. And that it's the same process, I'm pretty sure. It's a questionnaire. But with the psychiatrist, it's like an hour-long thing where they like do a deep dive into your psyche to make sure. The alternative is you go to your family doctor, and they will either diagnose you or recommend you to a psychiatrist, and then you have to go down that route. But with my doctor, it was the same thing where she was like, I've had you as a client since you were 17, so I've known you a long time, like 11 years. So you seem very textbook. You telling me this is like, yes. It's like I'm not going to tell you have ADHD. You got to figure that out for yourself. But yeah, if you want to do the questionnaire, I'm happy to do it with you. And then so she did, and she's like, "Yep, you're." It's very very black and white. It's very obvious. There's no like maybe not. It's like no, you have it. So there we go. I guess confirmation bias. I always knew I was squirrel brain, but I was always the hyper kid. You know? Yeah. No, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I randomly took a test randomly this weekend, and it said
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so random, and it said I have forms of ADHD for sure.
No kidding. There you go.
Yeah,
What are the
well,
odds?
it's crazy. So, well, you're
Yeah.
fully diagnosed, so there you go.
You could just, yeah, but you do the same thing. I'm sure we got the same wavelength. That's why we vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
I
Same thing.
think you definitely have ADHD.
Yeah.
DD.
Yeah,
DD.
I know. It's like crazy. I
But-
can't I can't. It's like
Can't stop.
it's like brutal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It works like, for instance, running my own business.
Right.
It works in that strength, right? But then it's like,
Yeah, because you can do a lot of stuff. It's good to have that kind of mental energy. But yeah, in other scenarios, you just get exhausted, right? And
Yeah,
my whole thing was the only reason I even got checked out in the first place was because, I want to be a better partner to my significant other, and complaints have come up that maybe I'm not the best listener, and I say I swear I listen, but I like maybe I got the memory of a goldfish or something. But once you go through the process of actually going to a therapist and stuff, and they're like, well, I mean, yeah, it's not so much that you're intentionally not listening to her or you don't care or whatever. It's a thing of you're distracted.
Yeah.
Like imagine not having feet and someone's telling you to run. It's like, well, I can only crawl. I can only do so much with what I'm given. I don't have the option to do other than what I can. But now with having some pill popping on my side, maybe I can change, right? Because it's it doesn't change you. It just gives you a different perspective, right? It's not like a mind altering drug. It just changes your receptor levels because it's a stimulant. That's what people with ADHD are given. So the stimulant, rather than making you hyper, fills in the empty receptors that are begging for input. So that way it kind of stops you from being scatterbrained and allows you to hone in and focus on singular tasks rather than being kind of more scatterbrained. Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
That's good.
and a good example, like what I've been trying out lately is like, after a certain time, I don't use my phone, because I find that when I try to watch movies or I try to watch a show or anything like that, I can't really focus, because unless I'm super invested into what I'm watching, my brain does not like let me focus on what I'm watching, because I'm constantly so attached to my phone in a way where I can just be like thinking about, oh, I can look this up. Oh, I can look this up. I can look that up. I can look that up. And then once you look that up, then that turns to that, then that turns to that, then that turns to that, and then that turns to that. And it's like, I'm really bad for that. And especially in the morning times, like in the morning, I have a lot of thoughts in the morning. So it's like, I need like a few hours to like really like focus on like
And
what
actually
my day's
begin
going
to
to be.
perform action, get up and
It's so strange, so weird, but what can you do?
It's
nice to
book
hear.
book an appointment with your family doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, do you have a family doctor or no? Do you just walk in?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have a family doctor.
And you don't even have to go see them, because my family doctor's like on the far end, like the Hamilton end of Burlington. I'm like, man, that's way too far for me. Like, no way I'm making that trip. And especially because her hours are when I'm working. So it's like, it's not going to happen, right? I have to take a full day off work. So thanks to COVID, we love silver linings. And one of them with COVID was that there's now a hybrid system in most businesses where you don't have to meet in person. You can just meet over the phone or over Skype or Zoom or whatever. So that's how I had my meeting with my doctor. It's just over the phone. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The future
so it's been nice.
technology.
So there you go. Technology. Who'd have figured?
Technology.
But like again, it is, everybody's different. So you do what you need to do for you, and as long as that's working for you in your relationship, awesome, Joe. Happy to hear that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
So speaking of relationships and you doing you, and this is I really don't think this is a good way to segue this, but Alec Baldwin shot and killed someone.
Oh my god!
God damn it, Alec! What are you doing?
That's not a
What the hell's
segue.
wrong with you? Yo, 100%. They were like, okay, cut. Let's do a reshoot, and everyone
I
started.
can't believe that.
And then Alec Baldwin was like this. He was like, he checked the gun. He popped out one of the blanks.
No.
Back pocket.
Stop. Alec Baldwin is anti-gun liberal.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about his personal life. Okay.
Yeah, because remember, like, he would mock Trump all the time on SNL.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
Like he's like he's a full liberal, hates Trump, that kind of.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, very tragic accident happened the weekend.
yes, it wasn't. Yeah, just to be
Actor and producer Alec Baldwin accidentally fired a gun that struck and killed director of photography Helena Hutchins, and then also struck the director, Joel Souza, who was behind her. The bullet went through her, hit him. Both went to hospital. She unfortunately died of her injuries. And then the investigation's still ongoing, but everybody's pointing fingers. Who's to blame? Who's to blame? Who's to blame? Just doing some research before we went live, and it seems like the consensus is landing on assistant director Dave Halls, who was responsible for walking over to where the gun was kept, removed it from where it was kept, handed it to Mr. Alec Baldwin, announced out loud cold gun, which means not lethal, as opposed to hot gun, handed it to Mr. Alec Baldwin. Mr. Alec Baldwin aimed and fired the gun. Now, the contention here is that Alec Baldwin should have also checked the gun himself. Even though the assistant director said, it's not lethal, here you go, it's good to be used, he should have checked it himself, because that's like the new rule ever since, I believe, Brandon Lee died. I believe they had this rule where it's like everybody checks regardless of, doesn't matter if someone else handed you it, you still check it yourself. So, you know, the ball was dropped there. But the fact that the assistant director took the gun from where the guns were kept instead of the official armorer,
right?
And I do not know in my research where the armorer was at this point. Her name is Hannah Gutierrez. Apologies, I'm saying that wrong. Gutierrez. She is the armorer. Where was she at the time? Why didn't she hand the gun? And why was the gun lethal?
Yeah, that's the biggest question. How was there a bullet? I heard something too, some additional information. So, as we know, America is in the middle of going through talks of negotiation with IATSE, which is the film union for most crew. This film, you think it's got Alec Baldwin. It's going to be an official, upstanding production that has its union and is created properly. But no, that was not the case at all. They were non-union because they couldn't get union because the conditions of making the film were apparently terrible. People had to drive in every day, like an hour away, or maybe not an hour, but it was like, I think like 50 kilometers away. Like it was something like that, where they couldn't get, like the hotel that was near was like too expensive, I guess. Like they just went for the cheapest option. So nobody was getting any sleep because everyone was working like 14-hour days. And so my hypothesis, based on the real accounts, that it was a terrible set to work on and that it was terrible conditions for the crew, is that maybe the armorer quit, was passed out from overexhaustion, was simply not around. And so the AD, who is the referee of a film set, was like, fuck this, I got this shit, and just grabbed the gun, and it was a loaded gun. And he didn't know what he was grabbing. Because America loves guns, so there's just guns everywhere. People, you know, an old lady left her loaded gun there, and so they grabbed it and gave it to Alec. And Alec didn't check because Alec has great rapport with this AD, and this AD was just frustrated and overexhausted himself. And then Alec shot the gun and that's my guess. I
think you're right there. Yeah, I believe it is confirmed that it is a full non-union shoot now. I think there were some union people at the beginning, and then they quit, and then they replaced them with more non-union and
poor conditions. Yeah.
So why are there loaded guns sitting around?
America.
I mean,
America.
The early reports were that it wasn't a live gun; it was a gun that had something lodged in it, and then that caused the injury.
It was just a projectile. It wasn't.
But now I think maybe it actually was, because sometimes they'll have two guns. One is with blanks and one is with live rounds. Depends what they're shooting at. If you're shooting around people, you'll use the blanks. But if you need to hit a target, you might use a live round. But you'll be firing it away from people. So it could have been that sort of case where the AD picked up the wrong one. Or it was, a blank, but something was still lodged in it. I don't know. Oh no,
Okay, well,
sorry,
that
my
guy
bad.
needs to go to jail then.
Not live rounds,
Which guy?
dummy rounds. So it's
The
dummy
guy that
rounds.
handed the gun to Alec Baldwin.
I
needs some
think
sort of
technically he should be charged for manslaughter. It's not the same as murder, but it was his negligence that ended a life, so that's manslaughter.
Sorry,
right?
you need to figure. Yeah, sorry.
It was a mistake, sure. There's a word for that.
Doesn't
Manslaughter.
matter.
Yeah.
You handed it. Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, even though
nothing's gonna happen probably.
it is curious though, because it's not so direct. It was a thing where it was his fault, but he handed it to Alec, and Alec is the one who performed the act. So would Alec not be charged with manslaughter?
Yeah.
It'd be wrestled in the courts. The courts would say, well, of course it's not Alec's fault.
I saw someone throwing around the word involuntary
manslaughter?
Involuntary manslaughter or accidental manslaughter or something. So it's like yes, it's manslaughter. It'll be on your record forever, but everyone acknowledges it was an accident kind of thing. Yeah.
It's not an accident when it's a life. Just saying.
No, but
there's no preordained
intention
behind it.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's like why they're loaded guns and you're picking up non-loaded guns. And
so just to clarify on the loaded gun, sorry, I should expand a bit more. It's called a dummy round. So if you have a bullet and then imagine the top of the pen.
Demonstrations. Love it. Yeah.
So
that's a
this
rifle
bit is the chamber and it has the gunpowder in, and then this bit's the bit that fires out and hits stuff.
Yeah.
So when it's a dummy round,
okay,
this bit would be plastic, and then there'd be no gunpowder in here. They'd be. I'm going by what a prop master said on TikTok, so I'm trying to remember what he said.
Okay. Yeah.
He said there'd be ball bearings inside, so that you'd be able to hear them if you jangled them.
Okay.
And that's how you would know, because it'd have the same weight as a real bullet. But if you shook it, you would hear these little metal balls inside.
Correct.
So
Alec Baldwin should have essentially heard jingling.
Should have. Yes, in theory.
But he didn't.
But I'm confused because if it was one of those rounds, it wouldn't have fired. Anyway, the purpose of those is if you've got your gun up close to the camera, and especially it's a revolver because it's a Western movie, you'd be able to see the bullets in the round chamber. Right. So they have to look real. So that's why they use these dummy ones. But then when it's a blank, there isn't the end on it. They just shove paper inside so that it still ignites and gives off a flash, but nothing comes out at the end to hurt anyone. But because there's no end on it, you can't shut it close because it would look like a fake bullet. So that's why they have to use two different types. And somewhere on the line, the wrong ones, the wrong bullets were used in the wrong
bullet died.
No.
Yeah.
People have been using these bullets, fake bullets, any type of bullets. There's been millions of movies made.
Yeah.
No.
Successfully.
There has
look at
check mark.
What was that flight?
Check it.
Flight 419. No, what was it? 745. The one from Malaysia that just disappeared.
Oh,
MH360 or 70.
There you go.
70.
Yeah, Xbox 360. Yeah. Flights have happened all the time. There was no sign of terrorist interference. Something just went wrong. Just some dumb, incorrect thing happened where I think the flight navigation got screwed up, and so they just flew into the middle of the ocean. Like it was as simple as that. Like there's no ransom communication.
Or the pilot crashed the plane.
Yeah. It was just a psycho.
Because he had a flight simulator in his apartment and he'd been simulating that flight over and over again.
I'm still waiting. I
think it was intentional mass murder suicide.
Yeah.
Maybe the AD planned. Yeah, so the AD could be like a thing where maybe he was having an affair. I'm not. No. There's a real person died. I'm not going to start making these assumptions.
In my 2-minute research before we began recording, Assistant Director Dave Halls had complaints against him in the past, including disregarding safety protocols.
Oh, so this guy's a loose goose.
That's what I'm
So-
saying. So bye.
Manslaughter.
Yeah,
It's
like,
just
come
one of
on.
those situations where a bunch of factors of negligence all came together
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
with
it
the loss
takes.
of a life. So Alec Baldwin didn't check the gun. The AD took it from the prop master and handed it over. The prop master wasn't there to hand it over. You know, the crew is non-union. So like all
Conditions were
these
shit. No one was
things
having a
came
good time.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And that's usually what happens when, like, for instance, like you're working somewhere and the managers and the owner are just trash.
Yeah. and the
Everything
work
below that
conditions
is
suck.
just trash. There's mistakes,
yeah.
hair in food, toenails in food, food not going out, food cold, food raw.
Customers get sick from the food. Late at night, someone forgot to clean the fryers because they ate the place, and then it lights up in flames. You know, it's like a million. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
just a collection of disasters
like-
that culminate in something
Yeah.
terrible.
And then that was so they forgot to clean the fryer because they hate the
The manager
place.
was screaming at them to do something else right when they were about
Yes,
to do it.
and they're
And then they
overworked.
passed
But
out.
the reason the manager was mad at them was because the manager is underpaid. So the
And he
reason,
has
Yeah.
to drive
they're
3
paid
hours to get here.
is because the company's failing, and the reason the company's failing is because
Some
owner is,
douchebag aristocrat son made the place, but then is terrible at business. Yeah, and is just spending
Just
money
so
on.
life was lost.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. His
Yeah.
life was lost,
No.
and someone was hurt too. So it's
Yeah.
not only life was lost,
Yeah.
someone was hurt.
I mean, it could have
Ridiculous.
been 2 fatal injuries.
I feel like there's no excuse
No.
for that. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
There's more than enough times where it could have been no one's losing their life. There's more than enough times. It went through so many hands. How many
Yeah.
hands is this gun going through
If
before?
I was
Butterfly
Come
effect.
on.
All these random acts
Come
of
on.
chaos all culminate in this. Yeah.
Yeah, if I was to speculate, Joe, going back to like how it happened, you and I know from being on sets how intense it can be when you're a bit down to the wire with time. Everybody's very stressed.
Yeah.
It could have been a
Almost.
situation where they keep doing this take, things are going wrong, they're running out of time for the day, they need to wrap soon.
Yeah.
So everybody's a little bit stressed. No one's concentrating. So the AD's stressed out. He's not concentrating. He grabs the wrong gun. He hands it to Alec. He says, "Cold
Alec is
gun."
stressed out.
Alec's stressed out because he's been doing this take over and over and over again. He's trying to remember his lines. He's trying to do all this. He hears cold gun. He thinks, "Right, it's fine. We need to get this. I'm not checking it. We need to like."
Director doesn't give him any time either. He's just handed the gun. He
The
says,
director's
"Okay,
like,
and
"We need to
action."
go. We need to go," because directors love being like that. It's like, "We need to go.
Yeah.
This shot needs to happen already." Yeah.
Like, I don't
And
really
then-
think it's the actor's fault. Like, the actor's acting. Like, he doesn't have time to be thinking about, are guns loaded? Are they not loaded? Like, what every time you're taking me out of my presence. You're taking me out of my performance. You're taking me out of who I'm
their
supposed to be.
focus
Like,
is
I don't have
elsewhere.
time this gun should be real for all I know.
Yeah.
It should be
If
real.
it's someone else's job to check that
Yeah,
gun,
like what?
it
I don't
should have
understand
been
how
checked.
Alec is at fault.
Yeah. And now he
No.
has to live with
But
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the most insane
Now he has
thing.
to
He's
live
not
with
at
that.
fault, yet he took a life. How
Yeah.
insane must that feel to be him right now? You know.
And he
Yeah.
killed.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
Dang, his werewolf gene is definitely starting right now.
Bald when,
Because-
you know.
He's a werewolf?
Well, if he isn't, he is now because he just killed somebody.
Oh, right.
That
Sorry,
werewolf works?
Joe,
That's how you
we've been
activate-
watching Vampire Diaries, and everything now is every logic is now based on Vampire Diaries.
That's how you
lore.
activate the
Understandable.
werewolf curse. You have to kill somebody.
So, if you have werewolf
He's a Baldwin.
DNA and then you take a life, that activates your werewolf DNA.
Ah.
So
What
it's
if
dormant.
What if you fire a gun into the open air? You don't turn it into werewolf, presumably, because you didn't take a life. However, 2 days later, that bullet finally comes down from the stratosphere and hits a mom walking her baby. It's like,
Oh my
you
God.
just took
It would count because you still.
But your
you
brain
still,
doesn't know. It's been 2 days.
It's
No,
not.
but
Your brain doesn't have to
connected to
know.
that
That's
bullet.
the
Magic.
person is.
Magic.
Nature.
Yeah, true.
Nature
Yeah.
knows.
Nature's balance.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Speaking of, this is going to be slightly better segue than Joe's. Speaking of nature,
Yeah.
taking lives, and murder, there was an update on the Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito case.
Oh
I thought you were
boy.
gonna say,
Okay.
check out Dune.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
well, nature and death. Sure.
I thought that's where that was going.
Actually would have worked.
That's where
Wait,
that
so
was going.
I do want to talk about that in a spoiler-free way.
Yeah, we'll talk
Right.
about doing it because we'll need something happy to bring this up. Okay.
But let's dive into this.
And then I do have another topic as well. I had 4 topics.
Okay.
But we'll do Dune and then anyway. So I think it's been a month now. Gabby Petito, she was with her boyfriend Brian Laundrie. They were out exploring America in their camper RV type thing.
Yeah.
They were in Wyoming, and
People
he
always
came
die in
back.
Wyoming.
He came back without her, back to Florida. Everyone's like, a bit weird. Why would you leave your girlfriend in Wyoming and then drive across about 10 states back to Florida? And then a little while later, her body was found. He lawyered up and then
Ran.
Underneath his
disappeared.
parents' house.
Yeah.
And then he disappeared. And then
Underneath his parents' house bunker.
no,
Kidding.
hang
Never
on.
checked.
So this
I'm kidding,
very
y'all. I'm kidding.
weekend, when all this weird shit's been going down this weekend, the park, the like Florida Park, National Park, Everglades, whatever it is, nearby, that they'd searched a bunch of times before. The police and the FBI had searched this area.
Okay.
It opened back up to the public, I believe. I could be getting my facts wrong. Anyway, there was some reason that his parents went to this location
Okay.
again. And a walk only 15 minutes from the entrance to National Park. 15 minutes in,
15. Okay. Yep.
his body is found. Brian's body is found.
What?
Wait, the boyfriend?
He's
The
dead?
boyfriend's body is found in these Everglades National Park thing. Only 15 minutes from the entrance of the national park that the FBI and the police had already searched. Guess who found his body?
His family.
His parents found his body.
He killed himself. His parents hid his body and waited until they were done searching, walked in with his fucking corpse and threw it in the woods and said, "Hey, we found our son."
Yeah,
What
or
the
they took it there in
fuck?
advance and went, oh, look what we found. Along with his
Oh,
possessions
bro.
is a bag with a journal inside. So we need to
Oh.
wait to see what's in the journal. That'll probably take a while for that evidence to come out. But it is confirmed it is him via dental records.
Wait, so what happened to his face?
Well, I don't know. So start off
my
with
God,
TikTok.
This is so scary.
TikTok
I was
sleuths
not
are like,
expecting that. That's a
Yeah,
twist.
like what?
yeah, the TikTok sleuths are like, oh my God, he could just pull his teeth out and leave his teeth. But then other people said, no, dental records is the full X-ray of your jaw that they take at the dentist, right? You have to put the little thing in your mouth and they do the
They
X-ray.
wouldn't call it a dental
That's a
record
dental
if
record.
teeth. They would say we found
Yeah.
teeth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, but
so
what's the
it
purpose
is-
of the dental records, though?
Well, that's
Is
how
there,
you
like-
identify someone.
Oh, so
With
that
dental,
the
right?
dental records were with the dead body?
No, that's how they've identified him, by comparing.
Yeah,
Oh.
people were claiming he could have
Sorry.
left his teeth and he's still alive, but they say no. Dental records is the process of X-raying a dead corpse's jaw. So it was not teeth left behind. The teeth are
okay.
in the body. It's him. He's dead.
I'm looking up some.
Yeah.
I'm looking up some extra details on it.
So
Right
how he died, we don't know yet. I don't know also what condition the body is in.
Yeah.
Because like you said,
Assuming he
like,
died a while ago.
well, within the last month,
Yeah.
you know, and not so like he was on the run only a few weeks ago when we were talking about this, and now he's dead, and we don't know what state his body's in. And then someone pointed out, kind of gruesome, but it's Florida, it's Everglades, it's swamps, it's alligators in those.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which wouldn't leave much evidence behind. But the body was with the bag that the journal was in, so it's like,
That is so crazy. My
That-
God,
that
It
was
seems
together.
planted. It seems planted.
it seems
So-
planted. And the fact that his parents found it straight away, and it was only
This is
15
what's
minutes
making me so
difference.
creeped out.
Yeah.
It's very
Because
strange.
so what? So okay. So is this like a chain reaction of like? What
I
is
think-
this? Is this a chain
yeah,
reaction of
he-
killing?
he-
Like what is this?
He
This family just-
killed his fiance, went back to his family. His dad, in a fit of rage that his son is a monster, strangled him to death. He didn't mean to.
That's in the
He's
family.
like, "How could you kill that beautiful woman that you were marrying?" And then he's like, "Oh God, honey, what do I do?" And she's like, "Hide the body." So Derron, you were right. He was under the house. And then they said he went on the run because I remember them saying like, "Oh, he could be in Texas." And so that was the whole thing.
Or Canada at one
Yeah.
point, they said.
Right, but
Yeah.
no, he was dead this whole time. I
Yeah.
think.
Weird,
Or
that could be
was
fair
your first reaction, Joe, was that he killed himself?
Right, or he killed himself, and
Because
then the
if there's
family
a
didn't know what
journal,
to do
we
with
need
it,
to
so
read
they
the journal.
hid it. Yeah. But we don't know if the journal's forged by his family. We don't know what.
Very true.
But god damn, is that a twist? I really, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's sad that now 2 people are dead, even though one of them is the murderer. But it's one of those things where now we'll never know the truth because
all we have is his journal.
he's dead before
and the
justice
evidence.
was.
The rest is a hypothesis.
Served.
No, well, they'll have to figure something out because it's like he would either have to have show signs of, depending on how long the body and what state the body's in, even though say it was buried,
sure,
it still would
they'll
be able to
finish
tell if like, you know, it was strangled or like if it was say it hung himself, for instance, like it was suicide, or if something tells me that it probably was suicide. Because usually, if you were to kill your wife, okay, everything's piling up on you, da 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 da. It's either
all of the
He was in a fit of rage.
jail for life. I'm in jail for life, or I just ended here and just be like, okay, cool. I just feel it kind of strange for like to go home, tell your parents to kill you, and then like try to hide that on top of already something. That just seems a
Yeah, they were already high profile.
The son's a killer, the father's a killer. No, again, these are real people. I can't be saying this shit, but yeah,
it just seems like maybe suicidal. Seems suicide.
Yeah.
And
so
maybe trying to
be spontaneous. So.
Yeah, I believe Gabby's autopsy took about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. So we might have to wait for an update on how.
It'll probably take a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch a video on it tonight. There was one I've been waiting.
Yeah. There's a lot of
information
out there.
Well, there's one by a specific someone that I've been waiting for, and it came out a couple days ago. So I've been waiting for it specifically. So I'm gonna watch that, and then we'll catch back up on this next week.
Sure. This isn't over.
This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. I was just checking some extra details, and it's like, something's telling me suicide.
Okay.
No, Aidan dropped the deed, so we'll see next week.
Here we go. Yeah. So, damn, life. What are we to do? You know, I guess just keep on trying. And
speaking of life and death, you mentioned Joe. Segue. Was there a lot of life and death in this new Smash movie, Dune?
Good.
I thought you were on like Super Smash Bros. Movie, Dune. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun, eh? We want a DLC character of Paul Atreides.
Yeah, the Timothée Chalamet character is now in.
Yeah, it's just
Super
him,
Smash
but
Bros.
wearing the costume from Dune.
Yeah.
Fortnite already did that.
They did.
Fortnite
added Paul Atreides and someone else. I forget who. Probably Duncan.
Wow.
But yeah, so you guys seen it yet?
The actual sand is
the
sand dune is a character.
We did it. We had to do.
Aidan was gonna ask you to go see it, but then you already saw it. He saw your review.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, I'll see it again.
Well, we were trying to figure out the logistics too, though. We're like, how would we even do it? But yeah.
Yeah, we'll make it work. But
okay, but yeah, let's hear about Dune in a
spoiler free. Spoiler free.
Yeah, what do you got for us?
Dune is the you know how I said I do my rating based on elements of the film.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's closer to a 4.5 out of 5 than a 4 out of 5, but because like as far as elements go, like literally everything is perfect. However, I docked at that half point. Give it a 4 out of 5. That's for my own personal reasons. It's mostly like people say you shouldn't compare these two universes because they're so different. But you got Lord of the Rings is known as the greatest fantasy tale ever told, and then you got Dune known as the greatest sci-fi story ever told. So how are you not supposed to compare them? They are two different things. But with that said, the like instead of comparing like the books stories, just comparing the movies, I feel like Lord of the Rings did ever so slightly better job. Lord of the Rings, 5 out of 5. The whole lot of them. They're a perfect tale. I'm in love. Dune, there were three things, 2 moments, but 3 things total where I was like room for improvement. But otherwise, like cinematography, audio mixing, music, acting, wardrobe, set is 10s out of 10s. It is
Nice.
perfect. It is like such a perfect movie when it comes to that. Like, it is
Wow,
so
okay.
well thought out. Like, everything about it is so meticulously made.
Awesome.
It hurts how good it is.
It made 40 mil opening weekend.
So I just came up with a fourth thing, but this is a fun thing and it's spoiler free, so I can tell you guys about it. Hans Zimmer did the music for Dune,
Love him.
Okay.
and he did the same fucking thing he did with Interstellar, where sometimes people are having conversations, but the music's louder. It's like
damn it.
he wields some sort of power over these directors, where he's like, no, my music is louder than your fucking script. Like I
thought it was Nolan
I
who
want
was
people to hear my
responsible for
music.
that.
Fuck your script.
Damn.
Sometimes
So
it
it's like,
gets
God
intense.
damn you,
though.
Hans Zimmer! Stop it with the loud
It's
fucking music.
intense.
Gotta hear what people are saying. That doesn't happen a lot. It's definitely like an actual issue in Interstellar. In Dune, it probably only happens like 1 or 2 times, but
I feel
Yeah,
like
so-
it's fine in a movie theater to have all that big, loud music surround sound kind of
yeah,
feeling, but then
yes.
they need to like re-edit it for home video.
Yo,
Because
yeah, they
it
literally
doesn't
should.
work
They should do a mix
on a
difference.
TV at home.
Because you really
yeah.
can't hear
Straight
it.
up.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
hear it.
You'd have to put headphones on in order to properly hear it.
Yeah.
So that's no way to listen to
Seriously, a
music.
lot of movies are better with headphones on because of that. For that reason.
'Cause
Yeah.
It needs to be dynamic.
Because
you
I
know?
think when we watched Tenet in like,
Yeah.
was it June or July, we watched Tenet, and it's like so hard to hear half of that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hear it because it's so damn loud, but like you can't understand.
I feel like that's not even the music's
June,
fault so much
July,
as the
yeah,
audio.
or
fault.
July.
I feel like Nolan's
Yeah.
addicted to just having shitty dialogue audio. It's like he
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
want
making
people-
it like his
Yeah.
thing. To like,
Yeah, he's intentionally
I'm the
doing it.
guy
It's-
that makes you listen harder.
Yeah, like
I didn't like
yeah,
Tenet.
straight up 2008, Dark Knight.
It was lame.
Everyone's like, oh, Batman sounds stupid. You should have done better with that voice. And he's like, you know what? Fuck you. So he makes 2012's Batman Rises or Returns or whatever it is, and Rises, and he's just basically and they're like, yo, that could be better. And so like the execs probably forced him to do like a recut of it. Because remember how like before the movie came out,
they did.
yeah, they literally had to redub his stuff because it was so bad, but it was still bad. They still didn't perfectly fix it.
Yeah.
And then Interstellar, you can't hear fucking anything. And now Tenet, it's the same thing. He's clearly doing it intentionally.
Yeah.
There's no other explanation.
Because I guess because it
Double
makes
down.
you concentrate more, because you have to like concentrate to listen.
Yeah, you're going, what?
It
Yeah.
makes you focus on the film more, and you don't get distracted.
Right.
I guess maybe that's why he does it, because then you
Right.
have to zone in.
Or you make the movie compelling. I don't know.
I don't know. Zoning in is
But anyway. Yeah, no, it's like he has good movies.
Yeah,
Why
he's
is
making
it-
good movie.
Yeah, just
No, I
make
like
them
Nolan. I like Nolan's films.
Yeah,
Apart from
yeah.
Tenet. Tenet was bullshit, but I like his films.
Yeah. Hey, it was a good concept, but it could have been executed better for sure.
Yeah.
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 I'm trying to think. I watched something else recently. Oh yeah, Halloween Kills. Have you guys
Okay.
seen?
Oh yeah, how was that?
2018 Halloween. Have you guys seen that one?
We did. Yeah.
Nice. So
Yeah.
this one's direct sequel, and they are going to make a third one, even though the 2018 one was supposed to be the second movie because they like got rid of all the movies except
It
the
was
first
for
one.
the second, but also the last, and then they're like, "Oh, it made money."
Let's keep going, yeah. So now Halloween Kills comes out, and it's literally like Machete Kills, where the one was successful and they didn't know what it would be, so they're like, let's just make another one. And so they made another one, and it's just like, what the fuck? So I've heard a lot of very good reviews of Halloween Kills, and I'm like, you guys are clouded with nostalgia. You must be, because it's people who were like, I loved the original franchise. I'm like, I haven't even seen the original franchise because I think it's stupid. The first Halloween movie is about a serial killer, and then the second one, all of a sudden, there's dreams and witchcraft, and it's like Star Wars. There's like family drama. Like all of a sudden, it's like, shut the fuck up. So the 2018 one comes around, and it's back to basics. We're in reality. There's no supernatural elements. He's a killer.
Reset the timeline.
He's an animal. We love that. Halloween Kills comes out, and I don't know. There's not much to the story. Like, what, you guys want a spoiler-free? What do you think?
I mean,
I feel like I've already said too much.
I feel like these slasher movies don't hold back any like
Shouldn't spoil it though.
Story. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Next week.
All right. I won't say the events that happen. I'll just say, in my opinion, it's stupid. Like it's just bad. Like I'm not looking forward to the third one because I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, okay.
I really liked the 2018 one.
Me too.
Because I love when horror characters fight back, because I hate when it's damsels in distress just running away, never grabbing a weapon, tripping,
Never.
never
They
locked
never ever
doors,
grabbed the weapon.
never
Ever.
remembering the car keys. I hate all that stuff. So when it's Jamie Lee Curtis, right? Jamie
Yeah.
Lee Curtis
Yeah,
and
Jamie Lee.
her daughter and
Daughter
granddaughter,
and granddaughter, yeah.
they team up in that house at the end, and they're
Yes.
like, "We're
Home Alone.
taking it down." And I'm
Like,
like,
we're
"Yes!"
burning this
And
motherfucker to the
they did a
ground.
Home Alone style thing, and they'd set traps, and
Yeah.
they'd burn him alive. And I'm like,
Yep.
"Yes,
Got
that's
it.
how you do it, and that's how you
Yep.
end a franchise."
Perfect. And then that's it. Stop.
Good.
Then
But
door
what do they
opens
do?
back
They make
up.
a sequel.
Hi.
So okay, so
How
here's
are
my
ya?
spoiler free, because I was thinking about that. I was like, how do I spoiler free review this movie? I said it's bullshit. So there are several elements to the movie. It's not super singular. There's like many characters that are introduced and whatever, and the movie sets, and this is why I think it's such bullshit. They set up. They basically take all of the best concepts of, I guess, the other ones, which that's like what I've heard people say, but I haven't watched the older Halloweens. But they take the best concepts from the other sequels that didn't do as good, and they combine it all in this one movie, because there's several. There's like 5 different story elements happening,
Oh God.
and the concepts are great. The concepts are like, oh shit, let's go. Like the setup and everything is great, and then when the action is to take place, it just everything
God.
falls apart. The execution's
I knew
terrible.
that you were gonna say that.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what
Just
the fuck is that? Everything
like-
you just did is just like, yeah, like it just blue balls
set up
you. And it's
perfectly,
like,
and then
Oh man.
it's not like they end the movie on a cliffhanger and they're like, oh, we set all this stuff up, see it for next time. They conclude everything they set up in the movie in the worst way possible. So it's like, it's everything they did. It's a whole story arc. It's the setup, the action, the end, and it sucks. So
Damn.
that's my opinion.
I feel like horror films, because we've been watching a few horror films recently, we've been disappointed every time. It's
Fine to everyone.
it's like 50% concept. So like, is
Yeah.
my character
It's
cool?
smart.
Is my monster interesting, original?
Ghost is it?
Whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's 50% how original can we make the violence and the kills, and
Right.
and it's just 50-50, and they leave no room for like story,
Characters,
and they
dialogue,
leave no
yeah.
room for an ending. Every horror film we've watched recently, it gets to like the third act climax, and then they're like,
The end.
we don't know how to end it.
Yeah. Ends with a scream or something. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never stick the landing on horror films. Never.
Yeah, I would
Apart
say
from maybe
it's,
the 2018 one.
yeah, exactly. 2018 one reinvigorates the franchise by making it realistic, and then concludes it. It concludes in a way where we don't see like his brain popping out of his head, but like you see him in the fire. We're like, good, and then there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then second one, I guess spoiler, he's alive, but like, duh. Yeah,
the trailer showed that
it
the
literally
trailer
shows
was
the
like,
first scene of the movie. Yeah,
yeah,
like,
like here's him getting out of the burnt
Fix it
down
out.
house and killing 15 firefighters, even though he's been burnt alive and shot and stabbed in the last movie and would have no energy left. Because and they established it wasn't supernatural anymore, but here he is regenerating and shit.
But
or
the last
whatever.
one wasn't too bad. Like the one that just went by Jamie Lee Curtis, it wasn't too bad.
I liked it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But it's like,
but
they start
like,
to lose.
even in saying that, I think still the 1978 one was better than the 2018 one. Like their kills, even though it's like kind of cheesy, like it just feels more realistic, right? Because the kills are just like a lot longer, and like this guy isn't made out to be like a beast. Like he is just a killer, but people just don't get a chance because they're all suburban. Like they aren't expecting a killer, so the people don't. There isn't much of a fighting chance, except for obviously Jamie Lee Curtis, who survives at the end of the original movie. But like, yeah. But then in the 2018 one, obviously it's like there is a chance, but he's just like a fucking tank. Like he wasn't really supposed to be a tank in the original one. He was a tall gentleman, sure, but he had like normal human strength. And then so they bulk him out in the 2018 one, but it's still in a way where it's not supernatural, and it's like, okay, good. And then Halloween Kills is just a joke. Like there's nothing you can do. Like there's no consequence. Like it's stupid. But anyway,
Friday the 13th franchise has been about
that
50
is
of those
supposed to be that's supposed to be Michael Myers, but unkillable. Michael Myers
Yeah.
is supposed to be just a really good killer, but he's still human.
Yeah. So in
But
that one, they
He's
really
supposed to be
lead
like you shoot
into
him in the
like
head and doesn't die. Like
yeah, because it was like the first one. It's not even Jason
mom.
Voorhees; it's the mum.
The twist is it's the mom. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Second
then in
one,
the second one, he's like a
he's got like a
freaking
bag on his head.
mutant thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the third one, it's like, oh, he's back from the dead.
I think
so,
that's when he becomes supernatural. Because I think
yeah,
in the first one, they say the legend is the boy died out of negligence from the teenagers, and then the mom, and then they think he's the serial killer, and then it turns out it's the mom. But then when the final girl kills the mom and then gets on a boat, but then the boy comes out of the water, and that was supposed to be like they didn't think they were making a sequel, but it wasn't supposed to be a supernatural thing, or maybe it was. Who the hell knows? But then in the second one, they're like, no, he's a human and an adult. He's not a child in the water. It's like he's an adult man with a bag on his head. But then the third movie is when they like stab him in self-defense, shoot him, and then it ends with him being like, and he finally gets the hockey mask, and then he's like hung in the end, and then like an axe taken into like this whole side of his chest, and then he starts shaking, and she's like, "No, I killed you! What the hell?" And then he just comes back and rips it out, takes off the noose, and then kills the person. And you're like, "Damn, that's a solid way to end it."
Yeah, and then he dies, and then gets brought back by lightning.
Yeah, someone's like, "Fuck you, Voorhees," so they dig up his grave and then stab him with a giant metal rod, but then like lightning strikes, and then
and that just brings him back to life.
life.
Yeah,
Epic,
and then at the end of that one, he gets sunk to the bottom of a lake.
Right. Yeah.
And then in the next movie, I can't remember how he gets awoken from the lake.
There's a girl, I think, or something. It's like a big boat. So
I thought it was like a girl.
Yeah,
well, that's
a girl.
There's a girl who has telekinesis.
Who has psychic powers, and that's when it's like, what is going on?
This is stupid.
That's the best one. That's my favorite one. That's my
because it's not. Is that not the one where he goes to New York? It starts with the witch girl. Because I think it's the tugboat. It's on the tugboat. She has telekinesis. Yeah. Or wait,
so
I don't know. It's kind of hard.
No, the telekinesis one is just like at the camp, like at the campsite.
Yeah.
So maybe the New York one's after that.
Right after
and then
that. This dude is like a boxer.
To space.
And the space one I haven't seen.
And then there was also one where he fought Freddy Krueger as well. So it's that franchise.
Freddy versus Jason, I feel like is what helped the Alien versus Predator movie. It's like everybody loves these versus movies.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god.
Thank God they died out and no one makes them anymore.
Yeah. It's like, let's go. Let's do
It's funny when they linked up, though. It's like, wow, those were like epic times.
I know. The people were daring back then.
Yeah, they're linked. It's like, whoa.
Because that was the 2000s, right? I think both were in the 2000s.
Yeah, like early.
Yeah, that one was crazy. Freddy vs. Jason was crazy. And then there was like Jason X. It's like, this is next level. Like, we're in space now. This is too much. This is too much crazy shit.
We're in space and cyberpunk.
People are like dying with like nitrogen. Oh my god, it's just too much.
I'm getting sucked out of airlocks and stuff.
Yeah, like it's just like wow, they've thought of
speaking of getting sucked out of airlocks in space, I am in love with two video game franchises. One of them is The Legend of Zelda, and the second, never heard of it, of course, some random indie franchise. And then the second is Halo. The big old ring in space. Never heard of it either.
Announcement.
It's just too new. But yeah, today they released like an official campaign trailer. They technically did in the 2021 E3 after the presentation. They released like a 2-minute trailer, but this one is 6.5 minutes long. It slaps. It's kind of jarring because they had showed us pre-rendered cutscenes and stuff. Like the 2019 E3 trailer shows Master Chief and he looks slick, but you later find out it isn't in-engine like footage or anything. And this new trailer, they show clips from that 2019 one, but with the in-game engine, and it's like
with the
I would say it's slightly worse, but it's like a little different. Oh yeah, and they show that's the weird thing. I'm gonna say spoiler because who cares? Just watch it. But the Escharum, everyone was saying his face looks weird. The brute, and he's just like it looks kind of cringy. He's like,
he looks like a gorilla.
Yeah, it looks a little silly. They took that was in-game footage from the 2021 where they showed him and they were like, oh, he looks weird. They show him again in this new trailer right at the end. They like flash his face for like a second right at the end of the trailer, and they pre-rendered him, so he looks great, but you can tell it's not in-game footage. So it's like, what? Like people hated the criticism so bad that they felt so insecure that they had to pre-render his face. to make it look really good.
I kind
You
of
can
like
tell
that
it's
though. I
scripted.
kind of like they were
Well, yeah,
kind
'cause
of
then at
rubbing
least
it in,
it's
being
like,
like,
they're so
look, what we
rude.
fixed.
look,
Look what we
motherfuckers,
fixed.
yeah, he looks better now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all I can say is it just looks so fun, man. Like multiplayer is one thing, but I mean the campaign looks like
Oh yeah.
you can play it as long as multiplayer. Like
Oh,
there's
yeah,
so
you're
much.
amped.
I'm amped. I am amped up.
He's plugged
I
in.
am
Plump.
100,000
He's about to be
watts.
unplugged and then
He's
plugged
wet.
right
He's
back.
wet for Halo.
Halo plugged me in. I am plugged into the system. I took the blue pill. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I am so into
you're ready
this.
to
I'm
go.
so ready.
Joe
December
inserted
8th.
Cortana into the back of his head and
Yeah.
fully immersed.
I got the Cortana chip and I just shoved it into the back of my head.
Yeah.
Like I am ready to go. That's my Matrix. Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. That's all
Yeah,
I'll
I
say.
can't wait. And
It's
when's it
great.
out? December?
December 8th. Yeah.
Ooh,
Guaranteed. I already pre-ordered it. I got the steel box edition, and it's
Wow.
it's shipping to my house, so it should come to me on December 8th
Wow.
from Best Buy. So I'm
Can I
excited.
play it on my Xbox One, or do I need the new Xbox?
No, I would say Xbox One is good. The only worry that I think the people developing this game had is like loading times and stuff. They're worried that it's going to be like Cyberpunk, but I think
Oh no.
I'm sure whatever they did made it so that it shouldn't be a problem like Cyberpunk. Like I feel like it'll be a thing where I hope the graphics aren't downgraded, but the loading might take longer. Like every time you enter a new area, it's just gonna like load for 30 seconds or something crazy.
I'm sure it won't be as bad as like Skyrim and stuff. It's like,
yeah,
it's like almost a full minute waiting for a door to open and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Because the way I think about it is like, even if it's like really good graphics and ray tracing, whatever, if like a big shortcut that developers use nowadays is wherever the camera is facing is the only thing they load. So it's like you turning the camera and the stuff loads as you turn it. So that way it saves on memory, on RAM or whatever. So I feel like utilizing that, you can have something that looks great and still fit inside of the Xbox One, the new, you know. Yeah. So we'll see. Either way, we gotta play. We gotta make it happen.
He's ready.
Campaign co-op isn't gonna happen, unfortunately. That got delayed 3 months. But
wait, what's that? Sorry.
Campaign co-op was delayed.
Oh, yeah.
They said it's coming out in the next flight because they're having or not flight, whatever it's called. Oh, man. Well, maybe it is. What's it called? Chapter, episodes, seasons. Coming out in the next season.
Oh, everything's seasons.
Because it's live service, yeah. So they're like,
seasons.
We literally are in crunch mode. We've been working hard as a motherfucker. We can't do it. I'm sorry, but can you
believe that this game was going to come out months ago?
Like November of 2020. Like a year ago, it was supposed to come out.
And they're not even ready now.
Yeah.
Is it still not ready?
Well, you know what happened?
Chris
Lee was the creative director, aka the person running the show over in development, and he was the one who had to try to organize this mess that was going on. They had 200 plus employees, and they were all under contract, and COVID happened, and nobody was communicating properly, so work was delayed and everything.
That's fair enough.
But it was like, okay, it's coming out 2020. And then when that became an impossibility because they're like, this is not ready at all, he left. So he was not fired, but I'm sure they had a long conversation with him, and then he chose to leave. He left, and then fucking Joseph Statham out of nowhere. He's like one of the original creators of Halo, just came back out of the abyss and was like, guess what? I'm gonna fix this fucking game. And so he just
back bitches.
So he's only been working on the game for a year and I guess a few months because he came in like by August of 2020. But he just came in, saw all of the problems, and was like, prioritize that, focus on that. We're going to delay that. So he delayed Forge and co-op. So it was like, those ones will come later. With this game is coming out 2021. Fuck delaying it again.
Yeah, I guess when you think about it, like co-op campaign, it's not like
when people want to do stuff together, it's usually multiplayer.
Yeah, if you can play multiplayer with your friends and you can experience the campaign on your own as intended, we can wait.
Because it is a singular story. There's one match.
You could wait. So. And then it's even more fun. to like wait.
It's like a new game. Yeah, it makes it fresh.
It's like
and it's like 3 months later after you've already played and beat the game.
Yeah.
Now you
an
get to
extra
go
little
and play with your friends.
yeah, that's fun.
So yeah,
It's almost
so,
like a little bonus, but
yeah.
not really because they're like holding it from you. But in the same way,
I know it should have come with release.
It's a trap a
But
little bit.
still,
It's cool.
it's a marketing. It's a form of marketing, kind of.
Yeah,
but
it's like pretty cool.
in their failure, they were able to excite us. You know, it's like little dopamine hits. Hey, have a little bit of this.
Yeah, exactly. Little dopamine hits.
Yeah.
Really, really
But
cool.
I mean, you know, I've played the multiplayer every time they dropped one of those flights, like 3 different times, and it's like there's
It's wet. It's getting wet
there's no
for
way
it.
Multiplayer is good, but then campaign sucks.
Loving it.
It's I the only issue they must have had with campaign is just the size of the maps. So that's why they can't afford it. But like I'm sure, gameplay is great. So I have no worries. Like there's you know,
he's immersed.
Like, I'm good. I'm in. Yeah.
He's immersed. Yeah,
I'm in love.
he's good.
I'm in love.
I'm good.
He's in love with the game.
Don't tell my girlfriend.
That's great
but I'm in love with
though.
man.
So
That's your shoot.
kids. Countdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one more thing, one more little nugget of information before we wrap this up.
Yes.
It's just a very quick one. Just a very quick educational piece of information. So, throughout history, in the Western world, we were taught that not so good Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas and was the
Which
first.
He called India because he thought he was in India.
Yeah, he was looking for India, overshot, found America.
Yeah.
And was allegedly the first boots on the ground. But there's been many theories over the years that actually the Vikings may have.
Well, they did.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like that's been a fact for a while.
It's now been officially carbon dated, Joe, to prove it once and for all.
Nice. Now we got the facts. Yeah.
They found, I guess they used some trees, because trees you can count the rings and you can get the biomass.
They scar permanently. Yeah. So it's like whatever happens, you can find it in the tree. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they managed to find out there was a solar flare that year, and they did other shit, and they got it down to an exact year, Joe.
Okay.
The year 1021.
Jeez.
Exactly 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
This year was when the Vikings landed in Newfoundland or wherever they landed.
Right. Yeah. It was probably there. Yeah. Holy
Isn't that wild?
Damn.
Exactly 1,000 years ago.
Yeah. That's when England became a thing, I think. The first king of England, like 1,000 years ago, right?
Okay.
Damn. Wow. Vikings were busy doing their own thing. They didn't need to establish a nation. Fuck that.
No, the Vikings came over. They went, all right, this place is cool. We'll take a few things back with us, and we'll leave a few things here, and we'll trade with the indigenous people, and then we're just going to leave. We don't need to stay. We're just going to head back.
They're nomads.
They did.
Plus, they already have their home over there. Yeah. No need to take a home from these people.
Yeah. But what's crazy to me is like when I imagine Columbus, he's sailing over on these huge Spanish Armada ships, these galleons with like 15 masts on them and gigantic like 4-story galleons, and he had loads of them. But Viking boats, a lot smaller, a lot less covered.
Rowboats, basically.
Rowboats. They had sails, but like they're essentially a rowboat. They made it across the Atlantic in that.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, it's
I'm
crazy.
back again.
I don't understand. I really think about that all the time, and like how many of them must have been in like the rowboats too. Like it must have been like filled to capacity, like probably more than capacity. So it's like you're not like there's no comfort, nothing. It's like just saying that there's no comfort.
No, definitely.
They were closer than Spain, obviously, because they went from
it's like, oh my
God, the Nordic crazy. North of Europe, and then they traveled to Greenland, and then from Greenland traveled. So they didn't have to travel as far. So it wasn't like they were months in the water, but they were still. It must have been like a solid week or two of being in a rowboat and in open water.
Interesting.
Probably navigating with the sun and the stars, because the Spanish probably had compasses and maps, but the Vikings, they
were just like, okay, I mean, sun goes like this, so we'll just follow the rising sun, and then when we want to go home, we'll just follow the setting sun. Let's go
It's
left
crazy.
and then right. And that's all you need.
Yeah, that's how
Incredible.
I would do it. That's
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. Well, 1,000 years, can't go wrong,
Crazy,
guys.
man.
Hello.
Hey, wait, I wonder what'll happen in another 1,000 years. You know,
Yeah,
we'll have
1,000
Star
years.
Trek,
No.
and then that society will collapse. And then in 10,000 years, when we've gotten rid of all AI because AI was evil and tried to destroy humanity, we'll have the Dune universe.
Oh,
Ah.
I'm
It's
ready
all
with my
connected.
mask.
It's
I thought you were going to
all
say the
together.
Halo universe.
I'm ready for
No,
my
no. Halo's
mask.
500, but yeah, Halo's epic and all, but yeah, I'm thinking Star Trek would be more likely. You know, we're just doing our thing, we're chilling. But then it's AI that becomes the ultimate enemy, not random aliens. And then got to shut them down. Once we shut them down, now we're technologically starved. And yet, on this strange planet, we find the spice melange, and then we can fuel our ships with that spice.
Paprika.
Yeah, we put paprika in the ships, and now we can travel across the stars and navigate across the galaxy.
Paprika. Yeah.
What comes after that? I don't know. Maybe Halo hasn't happened yet in the same way that it's like Pac-Man, where you go out one edge and you come out the other. What if after Dune we become technologically superior, and then we find the flood, and we're like, oh shit, we got to get out of here, so we run away from the flood, and then we come across the Forerunners, and they're like, hey, these humans are invading us, so they fight us. We lose. The Forerunners keep our DNA and turn us back into cave people. And then the flood comes to them, and they're like, "Oh shit! The humans weren't trying to wage war with us. They were running away from this thing." And now the flood's so powerful that they have to fire the Halo rings, and so they wipe out all life. And then 100,000 years later, humanity establishes itself again, becomes spacefaring, and then we come across the Covenant. And now the Covenant are religious, and they think firing the rings is a good thing. So we got to stop them. And then the years 2025, 63. And Cortana has now become evil, and we have to stop her by using another version of Halsey's brain that's copied called the Weapon, and she is like a version of Cortana, but she's nice. And
wow.
Now Halo
Not
Infinite's
Halsey
coming
the
out.
singer, though. Not Halsey the singer.
Yeah, the singer Halsey.
Catherine
we have
Halsey.
to use her music to defeat the AI.
Yep.
Yes. And we're full circle with the Dune shit. We got to kill the AI, goddammit. The AI are enemies.
So bad.
Yeah.
I tried to help you. You made it.
Oh, there we go. I
Anyways,
liked for a
guys.
second, then that was weird.
Yeah,
okay,
that was
we're
a lot
back.
of
But anyway, there you go. What are you gonna do? You know.
We mocked Halsey,
back,
and then I started
guys.
lagging.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, as a conclusion to this episode, we talked about quite a lot of stuff. This was a pretty packed week, and we do these at the beginning of the week, but you know what I'm saying. It's playing a little game of ketchup here. Don't worry about us. But still, we are the annals of history. Come to us for all knowledge. This was the week of the late October. Coming, next Monday when we do this, it'll be November. So,
we should do a Halloween one then. We should dress up anyway.
Is it Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Is it Thanksgiving for Americans yet, or is that next?
No.
That's like the 7th or something. 15th.
What?
It's like a little bit
further.
No,
you're right. Yeah, it's like November.
Of October? Oh, November. Okay, November. I thought it was already.
Yeah, I feel like it's like the 7th, 10th kind of November is Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
somewhere around that sort of time.
Wow.
So next week we'll do a Halloween in review. How was your Halloween? One of those.
Oh yeah. Probably wouldn't have left the house, but we'll definitely talk about it.
Maybe there's a home invasion. Who knows, right? We don't know until we get there. So,
maybe
the purge might have happened. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? We'll see.
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Yeah, exactly. Get ready.
He's ready. He was saying the other day, it's like, I'm going to get a baseball bat. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, get it.
I just need one. I just feel more safe with a baseball bat, knowing it's just there.
I'm like, you've got a katana, and he's like, yeah,
right, yeah, you have a weapon.
All right.
You have a blade.
I want a baseball bat too.
Was just as good. Just thunk. Yeah.
That's
the horny
all.
police,
Anyways,
right? The police just thunk.
Yeah. Sound off down below. Paula,
sound off down below. Tell us if you saw Dune. Tell us how Brian Laundrie died.
Tell us what you think about Timothy Charlemagne's acting.
Yeah, I think impeccable as always.
I like Timothy Chalamet. he didn't really know who he was. I'm educating
I
him
just
on
feel
who.
like I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm a hater. I'm kind of a hater. But at the same time, am I a hater? I just feel like,
Well, you're not a hater because you've never seen a single one of his movies. So I
yeah,
don't
but I
think
just feel like why? Okay, I just feel like Joe. Get me if I'm wrong. Get me wrong.
Okay.
'Cause I just feel like some of these like I don't know. Are they millennials? I don't know what they are.
He's a
These
zoomer.
like up and coming kids are like they just get so much praise. I just don't get why though. It's like okay,
Well,
he's in
no.
Dune,
Think about the '80s. Think about Tom Cruise. When he was coming up, people were like, "Yes, fuck yeah, who is
Yeah,
this
but
boy?"
Tom Cruise is like, but Tom
Outsiders.
Cruise is like Tom Cruise.
No, well,
No, but
before
it
he
started
was
off,
Tom
though.
Cruise, people were hyped about him. It's not
Yeah.
like it took him doing something crazy. It's like people were like, "Who's this new young up and comer? We love him. Let's go." Like
Yeah, but
because
I don't get
he had a
why,
weird
though.
beginning. He did
So
Legend
I don't get.
and whatever that boy gangster movie was.
Outsiders.
Outsiders. Yeah, I was going to say Backstreet Boys. But yeah, Outsiders. He's Pony Boy, I think. Yeah.
Funny boy, yep.
But I guess
No
I
one's
haven't
seen that part.
so I
Yeah.
don't get
And
it.
then he did Top Gun, but he
Yeah.
got there because everyone was like, "This guy, he's
Yeah.
got it. Whatever it is."
Leo,
He's
I
got
was saying this to you. I was saying Leonardo DiCaprio was the same because he was doing like
was
what's
that
he
later
Gilbert
edition?
Grape when he was like 16. Everyone's like, "Yo, this
That
guy's
was
got
recent.
talent." Yo.
Yeah. You look
You know?
back and you're like, it's a dirty spot of his history, but hey, it made him famous, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're like, should people be acting this way? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
acting
I just feel
mentally
like-
challenged.
Playing a
I don't know.
handicapped person. What was he playing? Yeah.
Yeah. He was playing, I think, someone who had either Asperger's or
Oh, Asperger's. No,
autism.
yeah, I think so,
High-end
yeah.
autism.
Yeah.
But yeah. Either way,
Nice.
it's
Guess we'll
times have
have to
changed,
see.
and now we're the
Times
old
have
people
changed.
watching all these young fucks who are younger than us get all the riches. Meanwhile, where are we? We've got riches.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like it's just everybody's just so like quick to like where. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I'll tell you this.
Me too.
When you watch the movie Dune, if you watch the movie Dune, there's a scene where he has to express pain in his face, and that's like he can just use that as his acting reel, just that one scene. And you go, okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
He's good.
He's
He
not actually.
really
It's not like
is
they're
good.
actually hurting him. So it's like, how do you show experiencing pain
Yeah.
as an actor? It's like, damn, he did it. Like, good.
There's a scene. I don't know if you ever saw "Call Me by Your Name," Joe.
It's like
like breakout
felt like
role.
the subject matter was a little weird because the guy was like 10 years older. You know me with age.
True.
But I should just for
Yeah.
the sake of how important the movie
Yeah.
is.
That's a fair point, but also it was like the 80s and it was in Italy, so it's like different time. But now
that's what I
Armie
think.
Hammer's very different now. We don't talk about Armie Hammer anymore.
Cannibal, yeah.
Anyway, that was his breakout role and he got nominated for an Oscar. But the ending scene, it ends, so it's a romance film. Spoiler, they don't get together at the end. Because Armie Hammer's character, the scoundrel, he was married to a woman the whole time. So once their summer romance was over, he's like, I'm off back to my wife now, sucker. And he leaves.
That's how you learn life lessons.
And the ending shot, Joe, it's incredible. It's just a shot like this, just on Timmy's little face. And he just cries while the credits roll. And it's incredible. And there's like music playing.
Sounds like
Timmy, don't lag. Timmy, don't lag. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
Anyways, let us know, guys,
Which
what
would
you
you
think.
say is
Sound
better,
off down
Call Me
below.
by Your Name or the song Call Me by Your Name?
By Little Nas X.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a great
he was
one, Joe.
inspired by that movie.
He was inspired by the movie, but still.
Yeah.
You got to pick one or the other.
No, honestly, if you can get past like the weird age gap stuff, it is a very good film. So yeah.
All right, maybe.
I think it deserves the praise it was given. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure it's a great movie.
All right.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
All right.
Sound off down below, guys. Let us know what you think.
Let us
We're
know.
always ears open, mouths open, eyes open.
Let us know in the comments if you're Team Tom Holland or Team Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, there you
There
go.
we go.
They're
Sides to
young
that,
actors.
there's sides to
Yeah,
that.
let's go. Let's pit 'em
What do I
against-
mean though? Do I mean attractiveness or do I mean acting talent? Ooh, I'll never say.
Hey,
Well,
there
by
you
the
go.
way
It's up
that
to the interpreter.
the way that
Yeah.
Tom Holland's movies are going, Timothy's in a real far lead. Sorry, I said it.
No, but what do you mean? He's
Controversial.
Uncharted.
No,
Uncharted.
sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Never played it. 'Cause
Tom-
it's,
Me neither. I don't have to now. There's a movie. Mac Wahlberg. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So sound out down below. goddammit.
Artifacts. We're gonna look for some artifacts, little Tom. All right, okay. Because
Let's go.
I
Hey, tell your mother say hi. You know, hey.
tell your,
say hi to
tell your
mom.
mother I know where the ancient treasure is.
Yeah, exactly. It's a secret though. Just tell your mother.
What's going on?
See you
All right,
guys.
let's
I don't know,
go.
Mr. Wahlberg. Yeah.
Till next week.
Anyway.
Let's go. I've got a Halo
What's up,
trailer to watch.
everybody? I got Halo on the brain. Yeah, let's go.
Halo beans. Yeah.
Woo! And hey, happy Halloween. See you
Happy
guys.
Happy spooky stuff.
Bye.